Hello, everybody. It's Molly here. I want to spend just a little bit of time with you trying to show you how I make titles for scrapbook pages that are multi-layered. I've had a lot of friends ask me about how to use their silhouette, and it's so easy. It takes just a minute to learn, and then you're going to love it. But so what I've done here is I created a title with a couple of different layers. You can see the text has got one offset background, and then I downloaded this flower from the internet, cleaned it up, did a trace line around it, laid it under my title, and then I created a second background, layer for that. So that would be that title. Today, what we're going to do, I'll show you this in the end, but today what I want to do is I want to use this sticker sheet from Cartabella. It's from their spring market collection because I'm doing a layout with it and I want to be able to use it. And we're going to, this one up here is where you would use a print then cut to actually include that. This one, we're actually going to use the physical stickers. I want them to be included, the actual stickers, in with my title. And you could use that where, let's say you want to include a piece of metal or a chipboard piece or something with your title. This is how I do it. Now, I'm using the Silhouette design, and it's the 4.1 version. I love it. Don't be scared. You're going to love it. But your screen may look a little different if you don't have that. And I have the business edition, so I may have a few extra buttons over here you don't have. Just ignore that, please. But if you have not upgraded to the 4.1, your screen will look a little different. But you have these same command buttons. You just might not have all this stuff. But you can still do what we're doing. Just kind of hang in there. Okay, to start off with, we're going to come over here. We're going to hit the A. Come over here, and we're going to type, "Hello, Spring." Now, it put it in my default font. I'm going to come over here, double click it, highlight everything, come over here to this side. I'm going to hit the A, and I'm going to pick a font that I like. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, that's pretty. What do you think about that? Okay, we're going to do this. Now, see this arrow up here that says zoom in and out using mouse when you hover over it? I am physically pulling my mouse close to me on the desk so that it brings the screen closer. You can zoom in and out different ways, but I find that the mouse, I can stop it right where I want to, kind of thing. So that's why I use that button. Anyway, I like this pretty much just like it is. Well, I'm saying that. I'm actually going to take and I'm going to ungroup everything because I don't want my spring. I think what I'm going to do is something like this. It'll make sense to you in a minute. Okay, so I'm liking that better. Okay, I'm going to move that up there. Okay, happy spring, or hello spring. Okay, so now I'm going to right click all this, right click, and I'm going to weld that together. Now, once you have this like you like it, we have this welded together. You see that little dot right there? It's not connected, which means when I cut this, I'm going to have to worry about finding that dot. I'm going to pull toward me just a little bit more so you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it. You see these nodes come up? Those are editing nodes. If you'll notice, when I double clicked and those nodes came up, this point editing box panel came up. I could have selected it, but it comes up automatically when it saw what I was trying to do. I also could have clicked over here to get to the node editing, the edit points part, but you could just double click on it and it'll come up. Okay, what I'm going to do here with these nodes, I'm going to take this node, I'm going to put that one there, I'm going to take that little node, can you see? And I'm doing it to where it intersects that eye. Still looks like a dot, but it intersects that eye. Now I'm going to grab all this stuff to where all this is connected, and I'm going to weld. Okay, that became part of that, and I don't have to worry about looking for that little dot. Now you can also see where my spring doesn't touch my R. I could be okay with that, but let's see if we can't fix it. I'm going to double click here. Wait, double click here. Why is it? Hold on. Why isn't this one coming up? There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna try this. We're gonna see. I'm gonna bring this here, and bring that here. And let's all click and see. Yeah, that still looks like an R. Okay, so now I'm gonna click all that, and I'm gonna hit weld again. And look, now I don't have to worry about having a separate P. This is your the older way of doing the point editing mode. It'll bring it up. You can just double click on it, the nodes will come up, and this panel will come up. But get to know those nodes. Okay, get to know those nodes. Boy, okay, I'm going to hit the bring to center screen again. That brings me back where we were. Okay, Now, if I just was happy with this as my title, I'm not worried about adding any stickers. To do the offset, all you come over here to do, let me close this. You find this star and you hit offset. If you want an offset on the outside, if you wanted an offset to come into the letters or into your shape, you'd hit internal, but I want an offset that's on the outside, so I'm gonna click that. Mine defaults to 0.125, but I want it a little bit littler, so I'm gonna do this. You can see where it's making a little littler. And then I'm gonna apply. Okay, so now I have an offset there. I'm going to make that offset pink. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this offset away. You don't have to do, I'm going to highlight this and turn it white just so it'll be a better contrast. Okay, do you see, again, let me pull this toward us a little bit. Do you see on my offset where it's going to have some little pieces to cut out? Oh, I hate poking those things out. So I am going to take and select this, right click, release compound, and then you can see it made all those separate cuts. So I'm going to come in here and the littlest of them, I'm going to pull away. You could just right click on them and delete them, but I'm going to just pull those away. I think I'm going to leave the bigger ones. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to select them all again, right click and make compound path. So now I can get rid of these. I'm going to just delete these little nuisance things. Okay, so now when I put this underneath here, it doesn't change what the word looks like, but it got rid of those small little cuts. Do you see, let me move this up a way. Do you see this right here? What if we take that, hit it, and delete point? It's bringing it in. Come up here and hit this node. Delete point, bringing it in. Click that node. Delete point. Okay, you can see where this is going to make, it's not changing the shape, so to speak, but it is getting rid of, oh yeah, that's going to be much better for me, you know, to get rid of all that little jiggy-jaggy stuff. Okay, so now we have a title. If you wanted to do a third color, let's say, you'd come over here, you select everything, come over here, hit the star, your offset panel opens up again, hit offset, decide the size. I'm going to make it a little bigger on this one. Hit apply, and now you've got another layer. I'm going to come in here and let's just fill that one with yellow. Okay, I'm going to go back to center screen, so hang on. Okay, so now you can see I'd have a cute title. I'd be good to go. But I want to include some of these stickers in there. Now, how in the heck do we do that? I'm going to pull this off to the side. I'm going to bring these stickers up. Now, I'm going to close this down, excuse me. There's a button right here that's a butterfly. It's the trace panel. If you download something from the internet or Pinterest, you know, wherever, or scan something in like I did here, and you try to trace anything with this much stuff going on, it's going to be hard. But so what I do is I'll come over here and grab my little knife. You see that? Let me grab this out of the way. Hold on. You see that knife tool right there? Wait, hold on. See this knife tool right there? I'm going to come over here with this knife, and I'm going to, do you see the red line? I hope you do. You probably can't see that it's leaving a little white cut mark. You can see where I am making sure my lines intersect where I cut. Now I'm going slow because I got people watching me. Okay, so I'm making lines, I'm intersecting. If I was by myself, I'd be zip-zapping along. Okay, now what I have, instead of trying to trace, do that, I've got a separate little piece I can trace here. I'm actually going to come with the eraser and get rid of this and this because it'll just make it harder for me. Okay, so I'm going to trace that. Come back to the knife tool. I'm going to cut there. I'm going to cut there. I'm going to cut there and there. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to make sure my lines intersect. Let's see if I got it all. Yep, I did. Okay, once again, I don't want to even have to worry about that black stuff. So I'm going to come over here, grab my eraser. I could cut it off, but I'm just going to erase it. Look right there, I got something. I'm going to erase that so the machine doesn't have to struggle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this little thing out of the way. Get him out. Okay, I'm going to take this thing, and this is a scrap from where I cut. Highlight it all, just get rid of that. Okay, so now I can trace. Let me bring it back toward us. Okay, I'm going to hit that butterfly. My trace panel is going to come up. Select trace area. Highlight around there. and it'll start putting some yellow. It's trying. These colors are a lot alike, and also it's struggling. So I'm going to hit this threshold button up a little bit. I am trying to get a yellow to kind of fill the space in and not too much past it. Okay, I'm close. Well, I'm close. So now I'm going to slow down and start doing it with just the arrow. Now, I'm just worried that the outside edge is all yellow. I'm not really worried about all this stuff on the inside. The way that I do it is I come over here once I get it pretty full. Let me go up a little bit more. Okay, I've got a pretty good estimate of where it is. I'm going to hit trace and detach. The reason I do trace and detach, and I'm talking because it takes just a second to do this, it's trying to get rid of all this stuff. Okay, now it's through with that. So now what I can do is I can take just my flowers, pull them aside, and get rid of all that junk. See all that stuff that Silhouette was trying to do for me? I don't want all that, so I'm going to delete all that. I'm going to come back here now. Now I'm going to select trace area again. Trace it. Come again. And I'm going to trace outer edge. Okay, so now I have a cut that is the shape exactly of this thing. Pretty cute. Okay, we're going to go over, we're going to scooch you over here to the boot. We're going to do the same thing. Select area. Select, ooh, okay, I'm going to move my thing over. And you can see where it's trying to turn yellow. So I'm going to help it along by kind of filling it in. I'm still not all the way. Ooh, this one may struggle. Because see, the colors are so soft, it's having trouble telling the difference between the pink and the cream. So you got to go kind of slow. But just imagine if we had all that other junk around there. See, we would have never figured out. Oh, look, you can tell I cut off an edge of my boot. I'm just realizing. Hold on, but we're going to live with that. Because remember, okay, so now I'm pretty close. I'm going to trace and detach. You could just trace, but it would really struggle. So I'm going to pull my boot away, get all this gone, delete, and then, now it left this gray outline here. You can try to trace again. Let's see what happens if we try to trace again. Let's see if we can do it. I'm going to do high pass and see what happens. Nope, doesn't work on that. Let's do low pass. Nope, not at all. So we're going to go back to threshold. Oh, I'm close. Come on, guys. Come on. I'm trying not to pick up too much of that yellow line, but it's going to do it again. Okay, so I've got the boot just about all filled in, so I'm going to trace. Let me trace. Okay, you can see where it gave me this. No, I'm not happy with that. Okay, I'm going to, there's a way to fix that, but we're not going to. So now what I'm going to do is the old default. I'm going to erase this junk. I've just grabbed my eraser and I'm coming along here. This is what happens when the colors are too close. But I'm telling you that trace and detach thing gets rid of a lot of that junk in the background. Again, I am not printing and cutting the sticker, so I don't really care that I just chopped off a little bit of the toe and all. I'm just trying to get a size for placement. Now I'm going to go back, select trace area, fill this in. And again, remember we talked about boo-boos. Okay, now I've got a pretty good shape. I'm going to trace outer edge. So now I've got a pretty good size of what my sticker would come up with. I'm going to group, oh wait, I got a little red dot. Can y'all see that little red dot right there? I'm going to get rid of him because I don't want him causing me problems. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here, select this, group, select both of these things, group. Okay, now that might have seemed a little complicated for you. Thought, oh, I'll never do that. But literally all you did was you used a knife to cut away the part instead of trying to fight with all that background. You selected your trace area, you highlighted it, you moved the threshold button over to where it was mostly yellow, and then you trace and detach to get rid of the junk, delete all that. Then you can go back and trace it and get a much better trace. Okay, I'm going to go back to center page. Okay, so now I have my the stickers that I'm going to use. I'm not printing them. I'm actually going to be using the physical stickers on the page. This is kind of what I had in mind. So here's my, wait a minute, hold on, I only brought part of it. Here's the title. Sorry, I didn't group all that. Okay, here's the title. Now, here's the dilemma. I have this yellow layer, and it's going to bug me and my title's not the right size. So let's take this away and this away, and we're going to grab this, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Ooh, wait, I grabbed the boot. Undo, undo. Don't want to grab the boot. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm grabbing just the words. And just the words. Okay. Now this is still... Okay, what am I? I'm going to bring him down here. How about that? So I'll bring it down here, and I'm going to bring this down here. Oh, that'll be cute. Okay, that'll be cute. Yeah, okay, that's going to work. Well, that's not really going to work. Okay, I tell you what, we're gonna live with this for a second. Nope, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring these here. Okay, now I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna come over here and into offset, and I'm creating an offset just for my words, the new shape that I've done them. And I'm gonna come down and make them little because I don't need a big one. And I'm gonna apply. Now I'm gonna make it pink. Fill that in with pink. I'm going to move this to the front. I'm going to grab all that and move it to the front. And you can see that's what it would look like. That'd be a pretty cute title. And I could come in here with it. So I'll cover up, I'll lose a little bit of my stickers, but not much. Now I'm going to grab all of it, come over here and hit offset. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Hit apply. And now I'm going to fill that with, what do you think? The yellow again? We'll do that. So now I'm going to get rid of these two because I don't want them. Excuse me. And I've got now the perfect background for my title, which includes the stickers. So once I cut this, because I did not change the shape, the size of the artwork here, the stickers will fit exactly there. You'll lay those down. Then you could layer this on top, the white on top of the pink, pop that up, and then layer it on top of the yellow, and you'd have a very cute title. Okay, I will admit the colors are not the best. Let's change something here because I can. I'm going to grab the yellow. I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to grab the white. And I'm going to fill that with, instead of pink, what do you want to do? The yellow? Let's see how that works. Oh, yeah, that'll be better. And, of course, your paper is what's going to tell the color. Oh, wait, hold on. Put that back, unclick that. Grab just this, put it in place. So that would be a pretty cute title, and it's got the artwork in it. Okay, so this is not a print and cut. I just did it to get the shape of what I needed. So look at see this outline's going to cut like this. That's going to be a weird looking thing, but you or the person that you're making a kit from will know where to put their pieces because they're perfectly fit to it. See how that's going to work? Pretty cute. Okay, so that's how you would add artwork to titles. Now, let me move all this over for a minute. We're going to try something a little more complicated. Don't be scared. It's not hard. Okay. This right here, I made one title. I'm going to ungroup it. And I'm going to, let me pull this aside. Okay, so this is the background layer. And you can see where this piece of artwork was something I downloaded from the internet, and then I created the words the same way. I typed, I welded, and I created a background for those. This piece of artwork, we're going to go over here, we're going to hit File. I'm going to merge, bringing a piece of artwork to this page. I think I put it on my desktop. Let's see. Did I? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. If not, it's pretty close. Okay, so you can see this piece. Oh, it's close. We're going to act like it. Oh, it is. I just remember now I flipped it. Okay, so this piece of artwork right here, we're going to come over here to the butterfly, select trace area. I've got a good contrast between the white and the greens and the peaches, a little tougher on the white, but let's see what happens. We're going to come over here. We're going to hit this, pull our threshold button up. Okay, I've got a pretty good outline there, all along there. I'm going to trace and detach. And you could just try to trace your edge, but I'm telling you, for me, it has worked out for me better where I get rid of all the junk. See how that, I don't know if you can see, but there'd been about 3 or 4 different little cuts in there, what I tried to do. We're going to get rid of this. Okay, so now we have this. All I did here was I flipped it horizontally. Let's bring this back in. Now, if you can see here, this one has had the white, all this cut out. This still has the ivory. All I did there was I came back in here with select trace area. I did that. I surrounded the thing. Now what I did, because I got rid of all the junk on the background, I'm coming up, trying to, oops, okay, I went a little too far. You're trying to get to where your edges are yellow. Okay, so see how it's all yellow here, but it's right there. I'm going to hit trace. Okay, this is going to be a little scary. Hang on. Now you'll see it traced all this. Let me pull my flower away. This is what our cut would look like. Heaven to Murgatroyd, that would be a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release compound path, right click, release compound path. I'm going to click on the cuts I want. I'm going to hit shift. Let me get off of it. I'm going to hit shift. I want this. I want this one. I want this one. I want this one. I want this one. Can you see where I'm just clicking the ones I want? I don't want all those. Okay. Now, I'm going to right click and make compound path. Wait, hold on. So those are now a compound path, and I don't have all the other junk in there. So I'm going to get rid of all this. So all I did, and you see, so now I've got a much prettier cut. It still follows the flowers. That's going to be a job for it to cut, but it'll do it. It's beautiful. So once I put this back in place, you're going to see where that's going to be a pretty good cut. Now I still have, you know, you can see right here where it's going to cut. Can you see right there the red lines are showing it's going to cut? It's going to cut all around there. Now look, I left the, it's not going to cut right there. So you could go back in and trace that and try to get it to cut. Let's do select trace area. Nah, we're not going to bother with that right now. We're just going to be happy with that, but we could go do it. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of this one, because get rid of this thing. I'm going to go back to center screen. We're going to take these two things and resize them. We're going to hit file group, right click group. We've already made our title. We made it a minute ago. Come back here, put this where we want, and bring to front. Bring to front. Okay, so that's on the front. And then you can see where this one won't fit anymore because my rose is a little bit different. That's pretty close, so my rose is a little different size. So all I'm going to do for that, I'm actually going to make them a little larger. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to grab all of that, hit the star, offset, make it a little bigger because I'm just going to hit apply, and I have my new background. Now I'm going to pull it away. Can you see that little bitty dot right there? I have a choice. I can either erase it, or I could go back in, release compound, and get rid of it. Oh wait, it just may have erased more. Let me go do this. I'm going to right click here, release compound path. I'm going to get rid of the, I'm going to get rid of these. I'm actually going to get rid of that one too. So now I just have this. Don't need to make it a compound path anymore because it's just one piece. If there had been two cuts there, I would have had to make it a compound path. Come back behind here, and now you can see where the rose will fit in there. Let me fill this in. I put it in blue. Okay, so that was as easy as it was. I just brought a piece of artwork down, hit the butterfly to trace around it, slid my threshold button over to where it cleaned it up enough to get an edge, trace and detach, pull just the piece you want, and then delete all the rest. And then if you need to go back in and have it cut more, then you would go in and do another trace and do trace instead of trace and detach. and you'll get a better thing. So you can see where that's going to be a real pretty title. What do we do with the other one we made? I'm pushing in. Oh, wait. Here it is. So I'm coming back to center screen. I always have to warn you. To me, that makes me dizzy. Hold on. I'll put that back in place. So you can see how easy it is to make darling little titles where you can include something in the title that's a shape. Okay, for those of you who may not have done much cutting on your silhouette and need this kind of help, I thought I'd just take it a step further instead of leaving you where we were to show you what you need to do from here. Okay, let's cut these titles. Actually, I'm going to pull this one aside for a minute. This one, remember you're using the stickers, so you can just set these little things aside because you don't need them. And then you have this layer that you can cut on white. You have this layer you can cut on yellow. So you see how you just pull them apart. And then this layer that you'd cut on pink. Do you see those little dots here? I'm going to go ahead, if you don't mind, and get rid of those because they're just terrible. See that little bitty dot right there? Let's see if I can grab it. Oh, I wonder if I can. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. We got rid of him, and we're going to try to grab just him, and we're going to get rid of them. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and go back and make this a compound path. So now you could measure and lay a piece of pink. Let me turn this sideways. So if you have scraps of paper you want to use, you could cut a piece of pink paper and put it right here, white paper there and put it yellow. Or you can, cut them one color at a time and cut your different layers. And to do that, you have it here. You hit send. You pick what medium you're cutting. For me, it's mostly textured cardstock. You can go up in speed or up in force or down, however you'd like to. And then you could hit send. My silhouette's off, so it's not going to work. I'm going to go back to design. You would just do that for each layer. Send it, cut it. Okay, for this one, the difference is you would cut these layers like normal. Again, you could cut them all at once if you want to put the different color papers on your mat, or you could cut them one at a time. Same thing, and what you're going to do is when you hit send, anywhere you see that red outline, that's where it's going to cut. So you have to make sure you have that paper. Or you can cut one color at a time by just putting one color at a time on the mat. But now this little thing, our flower, we can't do that. We're going to have to print and cut. And to do that, we're going to hit select. And we're going to change our mat. Again, you do it differently on the older version, but on this one, you're going to hit the mat screen. You're going to come up to here. Most of the time, you'll be using 8.5 wide by 11 inches long because that would be the paper you're going to print on. I happen to have a 12 by 12, but most of us use 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And that will be your size. You're going to come up here and hit this icon and turn your registration marks on. That's what's going to allow after you print it, it's going to allow the Cameo to cut it. So this is right here. And you want to make sure you're not in the little hashtag marks or, you're inside these little squares. These dark marks are going to print, and that's what the silhouette's going to look for to register where to cut. Once you do that, you would hit print. For me, it'd be file. You can see the printer right there, or you can hit file print. You can print as many copies as you want. You can put these, you can duplicate this if you were wanting to cut more than one at a time. Or if you have different cuts you want to do, you can do a bunch of different. Well, let's say we were, we're not going to, but let's say we were going to put this thing here and cut it. Let's say we were going to put this thing here and cut it. So you can put different things as long as they fit inside that area. Now, once you'd print it, and then once it prints, and you're going to take that, lay it on your mat, and you would hit send. And wherever you see red is where it's going to cut. So you can see right here, it's not going to cut out, underneath the little, the little handle of the thing, and it's not going to cut out these little areas, but it is going to cut in here. Wherever you see red, it'll cut. Once you lay that on there, you would hit send. Remember to pick your, you might want to pick cardstock, not as heavy. Mine stays on this most of the time. You would hit send. The silhouette will take it in and it will read these little marks. Then it will start cutting and you'll have a beautiful cut from silhouette. I just wanted to add that in for those of you who may not know how to do print and cut. I'm going to go back to design. Once you have them laid out, after you've changed your mat to be correct, you've selected what type machine you have, you've made your mat the right size, this adds the registration marks, then you're going to print it, lay that on your mat, the printed copy, then send it and it will cut it. Just wanted to share that with you in case you didn't already know. Thank y'all again so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye. I'm so sorry if this took too long or if this is too confusing or anything, but it was just an attempt I wanted to make to show you how easy it is. I'll try and get better and better at this. If you have any specific pieces of artwork or something you want to ask me about, don't hesitate. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope this helped. Have fun.